There we go. What's up, brother?
What's up, baby?
So we back like the old days, back to
That's right.
first episode of 56'N. If you guys don't know, that's what we used to call it back in the day when you want to meet up with somebody. You say,
Yep.
"Hey, 56 me." So this is our way of 56'N and keeping in contact, just shooting the shit like we normally do. So
That's right.
welcome, 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 welcome,
That's right,
everyone.
baby. Let's go.
Let's jump it out. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. Getting into it. A little snowy today, but no
Well,
big deal.
I would say.
Cold weather up here in the north, baby.
I would say down here in the south, I would say I'm upset that I'm actually looking out my slider with the all the greenery and the blue jays that are living out in a couple of my trees.
Oh, there you
It's nice. It's about 75.
go.
Slight breeze from the north. It's not bad. It's not bad, bro. I can't say.
I hear you, bro.
All right, man. What's on your mind today, brother?
Bro, I just want to kind of kick it like how we used to.
Yeah.
I used to always ask you questions about shit I didn't know nothing about.
Okay. Any questions
So
about life? Ask me.
that's right. Any questions about life, bro? There's a lot of about the Lakers trade, but kind of going into that, like the NBA viewership is down.
Yeah.
The nepotism about LeBron's son and all this other shit. Like, I always valued your opinion. What do you got?
NBA viewership. I got for me. I know it's down for me personally because I don't necessarily watch until probably like after the All Star break. Just because the way that they structure the league and the way these guys take games off. Not to say these games don't matter. I'm sure they matter, but it's like it's the beginning of the season. It's almost like how baseball, right? Like there's so
Yeah,
many games that just like the mundane games don't necessarily seem to matter up until towards the end.
yeah.
And so unless somebody has like a really really big lead in the standings, it's really not doesn't seem to be very important. Doesn't seem to be a meaningful game. With the LeBron thing, I don't know why people are so upset with the Bronny James thing. I'm like, that's literally how the world works. I'm like, is that? I'm like, here's my thing. Is that I can't get mad at it because if I had my way and I was in charge of picking something, I'm going to
Yeah.
pick my people. I don't understand the concept of why people get upset about that. And if it was my kid and I had a team, I'd pick Alec first. If he wanted to be in it, hey, you got first dibs at it because you're in my tribe. I don't get what's with that. It's not like it's basketball. It's not like it's who's going to be the world's best fucking accountant or leader of a Fortune 500 company or something like that. But even with those situations, we've seen it. That's the whole point. I'm building something to be able to give it to my son, my daughter, my people, whatever. Most businesses back in the day was it's it's Atkins and Sons, Martin and Sons, blah blah blah. Like
Yeah.
you building it so you can pass it down. I don't understand why people get upset with that. I don't get it. It's literally the point.
Well, why do you think the viewership is down overall?
It's not that the game. Well, it could just be that the. Here's what I think. I think that we're so used to seeing greatness that we're almost taking it for granted. Think about this. People, I know the whole LeBron Jordan, who's the greatest thing. That's always going to be up for debate because people grew up in different areas and have different opinions on what it means to be the greatest, right? But I think we are so used to seeing greatness that it has now become mundane. Like, think about it. LeBron James has been in the NBA for 21 seasons. He's
Yeah.
been in the
No.
NBA for longer than some people have been alive, and he's been great. And it's like
No.
it's
Yeah.
like you're just so used to seeing it that are like, oh yeah, I just expect to see. I expect to see Steph Curry hit threes a game, 18 threes a game, 15 threes a game. Like he's so good that it make it look easy that it almost that it's.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. You, nothing. How do they fix that?
I don't think you can fix that. I think that's the. I don't know if you can fix that, man. It's like I would try to maybe equate it to like the difference in it being like with the Olympics. Since the Olympics only comes around once every 4 years, you are locked in to it for that couple weeks. and then it
Yeah.
goes away. Like I said, you're not seeing it so often. You're like, people get so geared up for like 4 years. Well, let's just say the 100-meter dash, right? Well, in the men and the women, like the 100-meter dash is like people work for 4 years to run as fast as they to try to run as fast as they can for less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, I hit,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's such a the build up is so high, the pinnacle is so high that it builds it and builds it and builds it, and everybody's vying for just that one spot. So like the nature of the race builds the it builds the like excitement. Whereas like some of these sports that have so many teams and like almost everybody gets into the playoffs, like there's no point in watching it. It's like that's why I say I don't necessarily watch it until the end because almost half the league is getting in the playoffs. Like, so why watch it up front?
So you're saying it's mostly viewership is down during the regular season because nobody gives a shit until the
Yeah, it
playoffs?
doesn't matter to the playoffs. It's like baseball. Like there's 160 games. Like I'm not locked in on the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah,
Just not.
it's weird though, bro. It's just to me that's weird because just thinking about it from a fan,
Hmm.
and I would say football number one, and then depending on the mood I'm in, it kind of
Hmm.
trickles between basketball. I guess it depends on who's playing,
Well, that's
basketball,
true.
baseball.
That's true.
It depends on who's playing. I'm more of a team player guy,
Yeah.
like it or love it, but I don't know how you continue to run a business if nobody gives a shit about 200 games and they only
Yeah.
care about the last 10.
Well, even well, even,
You
well, even and here's I don't know if you can fix that per se, right? But here's the difference between the football season and the way the football season is constructed and the basketball season is constructed, right? When you have
Yeah.
when you have conferences and you have the seeding through the conference, right? If you win your conference, you're in. That's what makes the football a little bit more exciting is because I don't have to have the best record in the league. I just need to at least win my conference to be able to get in. So it makes all the games meaningful. So like for
Hmm.
example, you could have a we'll just say you could have a 8-8 team get into the playoffs, and then you can literally have a team because they've won all their division games, and then a team with a better record than them could be in the wild card because they didn't win all their conference games. Like so the the way it's set up creates the drama. Like there's really not much drama in the NBA the way that it's constructed. Like
Hmm.
you take college for example. We were talking about the NCAA tournament, and now obviously, what was happening? College football was having the same issue, right? Whereas
Yeah.
like these games don't necessarily seem to matter. If I'm not at the start, if I'm not at the top at the start, it doesn't seem there's any way for me to leapfrog and jump and make it vibe. I don't have a chance, right? Because I'm not at the top of the thing at the beginning. If you're not fucking Alabama or Clemson or Florida State or Georgia, and you're not heralded as a top program in the beginning, you never really seem to have a chance, right?
Yeah.
So what do? People say you make it like the NCAA tournament for basketball. Like you win your conference, you get a shot. Otherwise, why are we playing these games if you're not going to get a chance? The games don't matter.
Hmm.
So that's
Well, actually, this was probably the most exciting college football season for me. I know people have mixed reviews on it, but watching the lead up to the national championship, I was like, I don't fucking know who's going to win now because all my historical knowledge was thrown out the
thrown out
fucking
the
window.
window.
Shit, I don't know anything
But
now.
but that's the point though. It's like why it's like if these games don't matter, why are we watching it? And why should I be interested if the games don't matter until they matter?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's this is my opinion. But what do I know?
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
What do I
Fair
know?
enough. Huh. What about you, bro? What you got?
Uh, well, here's one. Um, I was watching a documentary the other day, a YouTube thing that was talking about I love fucking ancient aliens. I love historical shit. I'm into all kind of weird shit, right? But
Yeah.
to think about what do you think about our technology now? And do you think this is the pinnacle of the technology of just our known civilization, or what we've accomplished in the whole the whole course of the history of the earth?
So, I mean, I like that shit too. I try not to be, I mean, I love conspiracy stuff. I love ancient shit. I love thinking that Atlantis was real. I love that shit. And I think it would be naive of me or anyone to say that we are the pinnacle of the human race. And I don't think that there's actually enough evidence or research out there to suggest
Mm-hmm.
That we are. Meaning, we go looking for stuff all the time, but I mean, we go looking for evidence of society. I mean, we're constantly finding new things that they just, 10 years ago or whatever it was, in the Amazon from LiDAR, they're like, yo, this was a massive civilization. They basically cultivated the Amazon rainforest and all this other stuff. They just figured that shit out. People have been trying to figure that out for hundreds of years. And then you go into like the pyramids and stuff like that. The thing is this: we're looking for evidence of technology that we understand.
Yeah.
We very well might have just been walking and trampling over stuff that was highly advanced, but we can't relate to it. We don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And then also, if you start talking about 10,000 years, 50,000, 100,000 years, right? I mean, what do we have today that will exist 100,000 years from now? It'd all be destroyed.
Be gone.
Besides our toxic trash, but besides that,
Yeah, be gone. Yeah,
it's all gone, bro.
Yeah.
So there is evidence of advanced civilizations, and the things that just I don't understand it. I'm not a fucking expert. I just like read about it, and I go on deep dives on YouTube and shit like that. But how come everybody in the planet all over the world 1,000, 2,000 years ago had a concept of planets? Like, they all had the exact same concept of planets. They all had the concept of time. They all had the concept of seasons. You see, I mean, there's pyramids in every culture throughout all over the world that all are shaped like pyramids. Like, they have their different architectural, touches on it, but they're all shaped like, how the fuck does that happen?
Yeah. There's got to be something.
I don't know. I mean, because there's no telephones. You're not calling your homeboy being like, yo, we're building this pyramid. That's not happening.
Yeah. Or something better than telephone, like you said, that we don't have any.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah. This is another thing that interests me. A quick sidebar, right? We're talking about the concept of like a global consciousness, things that are the same all over the world at one time. I know this is super weird. I've been getting into quantum physics and like quantum mechanics lately, and I've been getting into not like photons, whatever, but these things where like, and I'm literally drawing a blank on what they're called at the moment, but like these quantum particles, right? Where it's like they're testing it, and they're basically trying to figure out what's faster than the speed of light. And in quantum mechanics, it's like these little things that can be in two different places at one time. You can literally shoot them in two opposite directions, and then when something happens to one, it happens to the other one immediately. And I'm like, and I'm like, it's like quantum entanglement. And I'm like, it's interesting how it's like I kind of understand it, but I know I don't understand it all the way. And I'm like, it intrigues the fuck out of me. And I'm like, I mean, obviously it doesn't keep me up at night, but I will like lay awake at night trying to go to bed. Like, I really wonder how that works. It's very interesting to me. How like shit can be connected so far apart, and like you'll be thinking about someone, and like they'll call you. You're like,
Well, yeah. So I do it a lot because obviously I listen to Rogan a lot, and like I like some of his guests, and I like when they start doing deep dives of nerd shit because that's what I enjoy. But how we're all connected by consciousness and somehow connected by consciousness, whatever. And again, I think it has more to do with like people that are important to you in your life, like what you're saying. Like you're just like, man, I feel like something's going on, and you call them like, yo, I've been going through it, whatever, or your children or whatever.
yeah,
When they're not home or whatever, and you're like, something ain't right. So something doesn't feel right. You don't know what it is. It doesn't mean it's bad, but you're like, something ain't right. But yet you have that, or what you're suggesting, like you're thinking about somebody and then they call you, or we all have that moment. And again, I'm sure there's just mass amounts of data being fed through your brain and your perception, but you meet somebody and you just immediately like, yo, I like this dude or whatever, or vice versa. Something ain't right. Some don't feel right. Nobody can explain that shit.
Yeah, that shit. That is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you say that we're the top of the food chain for humanity, historically, I'm like, we don't, we can't. There's so many unanswered questions. We don't fucking know.
Yeah, no, and that's the whole. I know that shit sounds super cliche, and I know they give. It sounds like I guess you could say a typical like female thing, like the vibes, the frequencies or whatever. I actually believe in the frequencies of shit and
Yes.
like the vibrations of things and like how sounds make shapes and shapes. All I feel like all that. It's like I know it's all connected. I would love to just be able to like put it all together and understand it all, like how all that shit works together. It would be great. But the how you said like, well, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I meet people and I'm like, nah, I don't,
Nah, bro.
nah. I'm like, nah. Or you can kind of like, you just like you feel shit like in the room. You just be out and
Yeah.
you be like, nah, nah. It's time for me to get out of here. Like it's
Yeah.
time to vacate the area. Like I don't. Some about this whole person there like thing is like off. Like, even with people that you just feel like something's off with you in the moment, or there's something fundamentally like I don't like how like dogs bark at people, and you're like
Yeah.
how like dogs know. You're like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, I mean, there's got to be something to that shit. I don't know. It is wildly interesting to me.
Well, shit, bro. I used to do that shit in high school. I like to go out, go to house parties. I do those things, and I mean, I went to many.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great time, but every now and again, I'd be like, it don't feel right. I'm like, yo, we gotta go, and I would dip, and then, of course, lo and behold, buddies of mine would stay or whatever, and police get called, fights breaking out. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, see, I'm not. It just you get that feeling like, nah, something ain't
yeah,
right.
something ain't right, bro. And it's weird too. And if you guys don't know, that you're watching this. Me and Tyler are used to be cops together.
Back in the day,
Back in the day, like 21 Jump Street, right? But like, but even then, it's like even doing it, and I guess this just comes with like talking to people and learning the manners of people and how to like read people. It's like you can usually tell when shit's about to like something's about to happen in an interaction. You're like,
hmm
yeah, like you're walking up to that window. You're like, nah, my spidey senses is tingling a little bit. Like some strange is going on. Something is afoot, as they say. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah.
yeah.
So I think that shit is an actual real thing for sure.
Well, you segued into it because just talking about topics and shit. What do you? I, I haven't given it too much thought, but I'm fascinated by the concept.
Hmm.
You had the El Salvadorian president basically put out saying, "Yo, send us back all our illegal immigrants, and guess what? We'll take your prisoners too."
Okay. I think,
I'm like, "Hey, bro, the thing is this: I understand Americans, I understand rights that they have, Eighth Amendment, all these things. That's for people who are incarcerated, but we do have a crime problem. We have a violent crime problem. We have a money problem." And he's like, basically, it'll be a savings to you because the exchange rates. He goes,
mhm.
but American currency flown into El Salvador will be a huge plus for us. And I'm like, yo, bro, I mean,
it,
I,
it
I, it intrigues me, bro.
it is yes, it is intriguing. It's an intriguing concept, and my thought process is what what does El Salvador have to gain by doing this? I don't know what.
Money.
Well, I'm sure it's not
They
just
want
money.
American money for a
Yeah,
fee. It's for a
yeah,
fee. They need money.
And the second part of that, my second question about that is, I guess not necessarily is it right or wrong. Like, is it even legal?
See, I don't know that either. I don't know that we can do that because they aren't. They have rights.
Yeah, I'm like so.
They
I'm
have
like
rights.
I'm like, how are we bypassing this?
Yeah,
Like,
I like thinking outside the box, though, bro. I do like it. It gets me in trouble a lot. It got me in trouble when I was working on the street.
you got too many. Don't be thinking thoughts, bro. Don't be thinking thoughts.
Yeah, too many thoughts, bro. Too many thoughts. But just the logistics of it, I'm like, yo, that's. I mean, at least somebody's thinking about it. Shit.
Or do you allow them to build El Salvador, their types of prisons here?
See, that's where the cost comes in, right?
Yeah,
And that's why. I mean, hold on, let me just.
yeah. The
I got
way
the,
that
I got the internet here. Hold on. Let's see how much.
exactly. If you guys don't know, you should look up what the El Salvadorian prison is like, why they don't have why their crime rate is very very vastly down. Is it a
Yeah.
I don't know if the way that they run that prison would be legal. in the United States.
So, just to give you just Google a little Google box. The cost of housing a prisoner in the United States, it does depend on state. So in Massachusetts, it's $300,000 per prisoner that's per year. New York is only 70,000, and then you go down to Arkansas, baby, and it's 23,000. So there's a vast difference. But hold on, let's see. In El Salvador, let's see here. How about this? They don't even have a breakdown like that in El Salvador. They just throwing them bitches in prison.
Exactly, bro. Like you guys, like I said, if you guys don't know, go look up what the El Salvador, what the prison is like down there. Where they're supermax prison. I don't think anybody wants to go there.
No,
I don't
no,
think
you do
anybody
not.
wants to go there. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if that would be legal in America to run a prison that way.
I mean, I did do on a different episode. I did do an episode on the cost of crime and how much this shit
Yes.
costs. Like, cost to arrest them.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's so many costs. There's a cost to the victims. There's a cost to the suspect. There's a cost to go get that motherfucker. Then there's a cost to go through the court system.
Yeah.
And then there's a cost to go through the prison system. All this stuff is a cost, right? And it just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting, right? Because in the U.S., at least, there's very little that is done. We're more punishment based than we are like let's rehabilitate these people based.
Yeah.
And so that's why you just see it's a revolving door.
Recidivism rates are mad high.
In jail, yeah, crime in jails is like at an all-time high as well.
Yeah.
That's a different episode I might do later, but you know, there's warrants out right now. I used to work these things, but they're basically non-extraditable because they're like, it will cost more for us to go get this person and bring him back and do the whole system than the cost of what the crime that occurred. I'm like, you're setting a bad precedent, bro. You're setting a bad precedent.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know how you fix it, but I was like, yo, but guess what? It'd be a deterrent. Yo, bro, 3 strikes, you going to El Salvador. Oh, hell no.
Very, very. Well, do you think that would increase the violence or decrease the violence for the people? For I guess the better question is for people who are at that cusp.
This is the thing. You're always going to have a criminal element. It don't fucking matter.
Well,
It just doesn't matter. We could get in, I don't know, the drugs, social, cultural, mental health, whatever. You're going to have criminals that do criminal shit. But I would say, and this is just no research done, but most criminals, let me reframe that. Most non-violent criminals are opportunists. People do wild shit when there's an opportunity. Now, what makes them do that? I don't know. Like they're talking about the looting that went on in LA with the fires. Every natural disaster, there's people that are in there looting, commit crimes, burglary, whatever the fuck, right? I see those as more opportunistic criminals than I do like this is a criminal that wants to just hurt people. Give a fuck.
Yeah.
Those people exist too. I think it would detour the opportunistic criminals, in my opinion, but. And I don't have percentages and stuff.
Well, no, but it's the concept. Yeah.
It's just use your rational brain.
Yeah. Well, again, don't be thinking thoughts. You know, your rational brain gets you in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it was in Arizona that sheriff was like, he basically said, yeah, we're going to have the cheapest cost per prisoner. So he like took away salt, like just bland student. I'm like, good. I had to live in tents outside. I was like, God dang, bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's
But hold on. But then you fast forward to like, bro, I just was going through some of this stuff in Massachusetts and a lot of these other bigger cities, more liberal cities. They have iPads, TV time, cell phones. They can FaceTime. Oh yeah, bro. And now they're introducing laptops so that people can review their case while they're in jail. I'm like, hold on, bro. Hold on. We're giving these people, like, they have defense attorneys and shit.
Yeah, sounds like college.
But like, God, I'm telling you, man. I mean, they have some world-class, like, gym facilities. Like, these are prisoners that committed crimes. And they're, like, making sure they have I'm like, it's almost more cost-effective for somebody who's, like, maybe down on their luck. But, like, yo, I'm going to go to jail, bro. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to eat 3 square meals a day. I got my meds. I got doctors on call. Like,
what?
At some point, where's the punishment, bro? Where's the punishment? You committed a fucking, again, it depends on the crime, but we can get into that. But
Yeah,
I don't
like
know, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if that's yeah, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but sometimes it doesn't necessarily feel right.
It doesn't make me feel right.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily feel right. Like
Now,
that.
keep in mind, this is the state or the federal government, depending on which facility. You work 40, 50, 60, 100 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
They go, let me hold something. And they're making sure these dudes got iPads and shit.
Yeah, you're like, seems a little
And
backward.
world class gym facilities. I'm like, what? What's going on?
Yeah. Well,
And these are for the prisoners. Like, I can understand if you trying to build like a really nice facility and housing for the prison guards and shit. Yeah, they should have access to that. This isn't for them. This is for the prisoners.
yeah, I don't know if that feels right.
Bro, I don't know.
I don't know if that feels right. I don't know if that feels
Yeah.
right. But I'm also, but like I tell you, I mean, you've seen all the videos and shit on online, internet, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever, X. I'm sorry. I'm like, how are these guys getting cell phones in jail?
Bro, they give them to
That's
them.
what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. I'm like,
Yeah, they give them to them.
I'm like, how are we recording all this shit in jail, and no one's saying anything, doing anything? I'm like, this doesn't seem to matter. Like, just, they don't seem to necessarily care. Maybe I don't know. I did.
Yeah.
That leads into another thing. I know we've talked about this at Lightem. I was like, but sometimes it doesn't feel like there's an incentive to do well in
Yeah.
the country at times. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like you see shit like that happening, and you're like, hold on a second. I'm, so you go out, you work hard, you bust your ass, try to do whatever, and it's like, and I guess this will kind of segue into a different thing, but you're like, man, you're jacking me on taxes, boy. I mean, bro. Sometimes I don't even like to look at my fucking pay stub. Like, obviously, you look at the direct deposit hit, you feel pretty good about it, right? But you look at the pay stub, you're like, wait a minute, how much money did I actually make? And you're like, hold on a second. It hit me for like almost
Yeah.
$2,000 a pay. You're like, whoa, hold on, partner, what's going on, bro? And so, like,
Bro.
it's interesting
Yeah.
that like now with that, so the Trumpito tax plan to do away with the income tax is interesting.
Well, let's go.
It's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
I know people they feel a way about Trump and politics, and again, I don't debate with people on politics. I don't get into people. It's a couple things I don't discuss with people. It's politics. Right? Politics is one of the big ones. Because I feel like it's usually only divisive in my experience, so I don't even like to get into it. But
Yeah.
it's like I'm not trying to change your mind, and I think it's very difficult to cultivate an argument that's going to change someone's mind that doesn't want to be changed. Right? They have their own mind made up. So why are we even discussing it? But it's interesting to me that the way the getting rid of the income tax will affect the country and affect your power. I think this. What do you think about it?
About income tax?
Yeah, getting rid of it.
Oh, it would be a game changer. Game changer. And like what you said, I don't think politics today it's not even representative of how people really feel because it's like Pepsi or Coke. Like they're the same shit, but which one do you like more? And neither one's going to be.
Neither one of them is good for you.
Neither one's good for you. And neither one of them is going to do anything for you. They don't give a fuck. And so that's one thing. I have my own opinions on that. But the one thing I can say is what people are fed up with is like what you suggested. You work your fucking ass off. And this is the other thing. You work your ass off. I mean, I came from a trailer park, bro. And I worked my ass off. And I remember, I used to not give a shit about taxes because I'm like, yo, I'm getting all my tax money back because I wasn't in a high enough tax bracket. I mean, I think my first year, like working, I made $19,000 a year. And I was like, woo, let's go. I don't even know how I fucking made it. And then as you progress, which hopefully people are, and you progress in your career and you start making more money, you're like, hold on, man. Bro, I hit a tax bracket, they were taking 45% of my fucking money.
Yeah,
I was like, what? For what?
Yeah.
What am I getting for this? Exactly. And then I do my taxes and I still owe them money. I'm like, for what? What did you do with my money?
Exactly, bro. Now, I will say this about the taxing part. I don't mind paying taxes for things that are for the collective good. So, like, hey, we're paying tax
Go ahead.
again. Conceptually speaking, right?
Yeah,
The, idealistically, I don't mind it. If it's like, hey, we're charging an extra penny for the next, 18 months because we have this road construction we're trying to do. We have like the idea of that. Okay, got it. Yeah,
yeah.
this is something we're all using. This is a benefit to all of us. The structure of our economy, our whatever. Idealistically, that makes sense. I'm fine with that. I also know that that's not necessarily happening. So it's like, again, it's one of those things that doesn't necessarily feel right, and it's a little upsetting.
I agree with you to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Cops, firemen, military, roads, 100%. But like what you suggested, they always say that shit when they're building a bridge or a toll. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, it's $1," and then after 20 years, well, 50 years later, they're still charging you $1 because that's not. It doesn't work that way. They
Exactly.
just spin whatever. But then you get into things like, well, healthcare, and this is a big topic, and people get real hurt feelings about it one way or the other. And healthcare is a human right. That's insane. No, it's not. It's not. Because two parts.
Mm-hmm.
One, what if I don't want it? I'll
True.
pay for it myself. I will
True.
give you money when I need it.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is that? Why is that a horrible option? Well, not everybody has money. Fair. That's fair. But your health. See, it's such a wide, vast thing, right? Because people get cancer. But most of the healthcare costs go for what people do to themselves. Drinking, smoking, eating outrageously. Again, we could get into the food industry and all that shit, but no, diet and exercise could fix a lot of the problems that are going on, and education. People
True.
are lazy. They don't want to do that shit. They want to inject themselves with some shit and be like, oh, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
lose weight now. It's like, well, you don't even know what you're putting in your body. The difference between healthcare as a whole and cops and firemen and all that stuff like that, they're there to, cops and firemen, there's always a victim and a perpetrator, right?
Yeah.
Suspect.
Yeah.
Who's the victim in healthcare?
Me paying it. That's the victim. Yeah.
And and the other part is you see examples of socialized medicine in other countries, and people are like, doctors. Having known many doctors, they spend anywhere from 6 to 10 years to, I mean, if you're a fucking neurosurgeon, 20 years
Mm-hmm.
of your life. Listen, I want them to because I want them to be very proficient at what they're doing.
Exactly.
They should be compensated for that
I agree. I agree.
exorbitantly.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit.
I agree.
Exorbitant. Because
I agree.
guess what? If we're socialized medicine and they're like, all right, yeah, all these doctors are going to make 100,000 a year. That's a good salary. But why would I divest 10, 15, 20 years of my life to make 100,000 a year when I could go run a business? I could do something else. You're going to
I
have a
make
shortage.
I make way more money than that.
Also, are you going to get the best? A lot of people with money from these countries fly here to go to private, to go to the best surgeons, the best doctors. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have all the answers about it. And again, there's healthcare is a mess, insurance is a mess,
No.
but we got to get back to like being reasonable.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too about insurance and the healthcare shit is if I'm paying all this and I don't use it, and I'm saying the year, I was like, shouldn't I get my money back?
Yeah. No, you're helping offset the cost of everybody else using it, bro.
I get it, and especially I guess the more upsetting thing is the car insurance, right? It's because it's like, yo, it's like yeah, but I'm like, yeah, I haven't been in an at-fault accident in my life. I was like,
Yeah.
why do these premiums keep coming up, keep rising up? Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, no. You let them pay for their own shit, and you got to be protected. I was like, yeah, that just seems like some sort. It feels scammy.
And,
It feels scammy, like, and then you have to have it.
well, see, that's more the part I'm talking about. You have to have it. Why?
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Well, the car insurance thing, I get why they require people to have it. That more so I understand than the healthcare thing.
The what now?
Than the healthcare, the car insurance requiring people to have it because you're dealing with if you're at fault now that makes a little bit more sense than the healthcare requiring me to have it. Then I'm like, but I'm healthy. I don't.
again, this is what I'm trying to say. This is America. Have it, don't have it, pay the most for it, whatever. Like that's what you should be able to pay whatever works for you. Now, I will say, I could bore you to death with insurance talk. People just fade out though because nobody wants to talk about it. And they don't want to look at it. Just like I don't know, this looks like the best
Yeah,
plan because it's most expensive.
yeah,
Maybe not.
maybe not.
You gotta read, bro. You gotta read.
Left to right, top to bottom.
Yeah, come on, baby. You got to understand. Consume what you're reading. Understand it.
Hmm.
But being forced is, I guess, where I start to balk. I'm like, why? I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, yeah. Don't tell me what to do. I'm going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do. I don't like that. Now, if it makes sense, then great, awesome. But I was like,
We
don't
all know
force me to do it.
smoking and drinking is bad, bro. We all know that.
Yeah,
People still do it. We
yeah.
all know you can't eat tomahawk steaks every day. I love tomahawk steaks.
I
I
eat
don't
a
eat them
tomahawk.
every day, even though I want to.
I eat a tomahawk steak every day. But at the same time,
Hey,
I'm
but what I'm saying is,
I'm assuming that I know what's happening. I get it.
yeah,
I know what I'm doing to myself.
there you go. You put a cup of salt on your shit every day, my blood pressure's going to go up. Cholesterol, whatever the fuck.
Okay.
But you're an adult. Do
Yeah.
you, baby?
Yeah. It's okay. I might not make it to 75 anyway. It's like you might not
See,
make it
that's
there.
the, now you're tying into something else. It's like people should be able to live the way they want to within meaning, if you're not hurting anybody else, do you, bro?
Yeah. I've,
I,
yeah. I've
I
literally
don't
come
get it.
to. I don't know if it's an age thing, getting older, or just I don't like to say getting older anymore. Because you got to be careful what you say, right? Power's in the tongue, right? I said, but as I progressed through life, I've taken on a lot more, uh, I guess, universal truths and more of those concepts. Where I'm like, okay, what? Nobody's hurting anybody. It's like, who cares? Like he smokes a packet. We need an intervention. He's drinking himself to death. I was like, does he want to do that? Maybe that's it. For example, seatbelts.
Oh,
I
bro.
don't write seatbelt tickets. First of all, I don't wear my seatbelt. Everybody who rides with me knows I don't wear my seatbelt, and they know why I don't wear my seatbelt. Right? Clearly, I don't need it. Right? I've been in multiple crashes, almost going to do it. I was like, apparently, I can't die that way. Right? I don't wear a seatbelt. Right? Apparently, that's not the way I go out. Right? Um,
Yeah.
but even in my duties, I know I can pull people over for not wearing a seatbelt. Blah blah blah. Like I may do it as a to be proactive or whatever. I was like, I don't write seatbelt tickets. I was like, because who am I to say, what if you wanted to go to the windshield today? What if that was your desire?
I mean,
That should be up to you. Now again, it's a little different than you don't strap your fucking your toddler into a car seat. I think that's a little bit different. That's a little bit different.
again, because the toddler's not an adult, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. I was like, that one, I'll probably still get a ticket. Hey, strap the kid in. Give the kid a chance to make his own decisions in life. I was like, but you
Yeah.
don't wear your seatbelt. I don't care,
That's
man.
on you,
That's
bro.
on you.
Again, this is morbid, and people are like, oh, but, for the good. We got to get back to you're an adult. You got to make your own choices. I don't know what else to say about it.
And that's the way I do the job lately, especially when it's like it's BS. We get these I call them Karen calls. So and so is doing blah 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 blah. Like there's a car parked down at the end of the street. I'm like, yeah, okay. Are they doing something that's legal or is it just weird to you? Well, I don't like the way they're talking to me. That's not a crime.
Nope.
It's not against law to be an asshole. I tell you that
Yeah.
all the time. It's not. It's not. I was like, and you could also not be here either. You could
Yeah.
also leave.
Go back into your house. Go back on your property.
You could also leave. No one's making you
That's
leave.
not.
That's also an option. You could also leave. Yeah, it's nothing. But no, actually, while we're on this topic, I saw a thing. I think I shared it to you. What do you think about these? I don't think all of them are sovereign citizens, right? But the sovereign citizen thing and the way people are interacting on these traffic stop, like these "I know my rights, you can't do this" kind of thing. It seems to be on an uptick to me, and it's very. I don't know if it's concerning to me, but it is wildly interesting that this happens a lot more.
Once again, if you're gonna act like an expert, then be an expert. I do think everybody should know their rights.
Yeah.
I do think everybody should be vastly more well-read than most people are, because most people don't care or have the time. I get it. People got jobs. You know, they got other shit going on. They're not trying to worry about that. But once again, you want to live your life the way you want to live your life. You want to go to war with the government. There's ways to do that. I'm talking nonviolent. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you need to strap up. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But once again, we're all human beings, reasonable, rational. I stopped you for a reason. This is the reason. I know my rights. Well, I know the law. Give me your ID. I need to confirm it is you.
Mhm.
Give me your registration. Give me your insurance because you're driving in the state of whatever.
Yeah.
These are the law or the ordinance or whatever. These are the I've been sworn to uphold these things and enforce these things. You want to go to war with it? There's a place for that. It's called the court. Not on the side of the road with a cop trying to do his job, man.
Mhm.
And that's when you see a lot of these things go violent and go bad for people because they want to start getting, you know, passively resisting or aggressively resist. It's just like you didn't. That's not the place for any of that.
Yeah. And like, listen, I'm all for, you know me, I'm all for smaller government. I don't like the
Yeah,
government. I don't like the government in my shit. I don't like Big Brother. I'm not a huge fan of it, right? Even though I work for the fucking government. That's probably the reason why I feel like that is because I work for the government. But
yeah,
at the same time, it's like you have to know what you can and cannot do, where the line is. Like I said, this is not the time and place. And it's like if I wasn't allowed to be doing what I'm doing, I wouldn't be doing it.
correct. Now, also, this is the thing. There are lines there. I get it. You know, we're not talking about some aggressive shit where some cop just roll up in your shit and starting to
Yeah,
rip.
yeah, no, we're not talking
At
about
some
that.
point, you got to defend yourself.
Yeah,
I understand the
yeah,
concept, but let's just keep it on traffic stops for now. They're doing their job. And if listen, I hate like red light, like traffic cams and
yeah,
speed. I hate that shit. I don't agree with it. I don't think the laws were written that way. I think it's a huge. And listen, I used to live in D.C. I fucking got too many of those things. Like, oh, you're going five over $100, 15 over 100, 250. I'm like, God damn,
yeah,
trying to crush you left and right. It's bullshit. I hate it. I think it's bullshit. If I'm speeding and a cop catches me, that's me, baby.
hey,
But you just gonna set up cameras and be like,
based
according to
off
this
of that.
picture, yeah, you were speeding, bro. I'm like, hell no, bro. That's not how it is, bro.
Yeah,
That's not how anything's supposed to be set up. With that being said, if I really felt that passionate about it, I could go to court, and people do that. They could
yeah,
sue the court, they could sue the government. You could do all these things.
hmm,
Having this argument on the side of the road with somebody just trying to work and get through their 8, 12-hour shift is not the time.
yeah. And the time you spent arguing, you could have been done by now.
Yeah.
And you probably talk yourself into a ticket anyway.
Listen, there's dick cops. We know many of them.
I know.
Listen, I warned more people than I wrote tickets to. And actually, you remind me of the story, bro. The dude that I pulled over, he was going like 20 over. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I get there, he's got the sweat on his forehead, the sweat on his lip. He's like, please, I'm gonna shit my pants. I'm like, go, bro. I was like, get out of here. I mean, he could be, if he's lying, good on him. But I'm like, get out of here, bro.
I feel you,
I don't
bro.
want to deal with none of that.
Exactly. And
I've been there before.
and here's my thing too with the people who are like to argue with it about the truck stop. I was like, if you felt so strongly about that, why'd you stop?
Yeah, that's true too.
I was like, if you didn't think I had a reason to do what I'm doing, I was like, why'd you stop?
Yeah, fair.
I was like, we're here because you stopped.
Yeah,
You could have kept driving and like, I'm not doing anything, I'm not stopping, but you stopped. So here we are.
yeah.
You know, and
No,
I
you're
love,
right, bro.
and you know, and again, this is I think we talked about this on the Street Tales podcast, but I think it comes to some cops not knowing what they're allowed to do,
Yeah,
or they don't know why they're able to do what they're doing. Right. So actually, I literally had a conversation with a buddy of mine the other day. He sent me a video and he's like, "Oh man, you know," I was like, first off, he's like, I just wouldn't get out of the car." I was like, first of all,
I'm out.
I was like, time out. I was like, I may joke around and say some off color jokes here and there, you know, that's funny, you know, water cooler shit, you know, whatever, right? I was like, but this is a little bit more serious. I was like, what? I'm not going to steer you wrong on this one. I was like, in the state of Florida, you do have to get out of the car if I tell you to get out of the car. No, I don't. I know my right. You clearly do not.
Nope.
Yes, you do. I was like, and
Number
if
one
you
thing in
don't,
Florida. Look at the back of your driver's
Driver's
license.
license.
Driving in the state of Florida is a privilege,
Privilege.
not a right.
Yeah, the privilege. And I'm like, I don't have to identify myself. I say, no, uh, you do. I say, now, if you want to do the whole, I'm going to hold it up to the window and yada, yada. Okay, cool, fine, whatever. You can do that. You
I
don't
can
have to,
see you.
yeah, I can see you. You can do that, whatever. That's not, yep, you're complying with it. Cool, whatever. If you want to go that route, fine. Right? I said, but as soon as the guy says, hey, get out of the car, I don't have to, okay.
Yes, you do.
It's like, all right, you're asking for, you are not escalating this thing past where it needs to be escalated to.
Yep.
I was like, I don't agree with that. But that's a street toast topic. We'll get on that shit on another
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But I saw it the other day and I was like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do
No.
that. Don't do that. That's not good. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. But I got the TV on here while I'm looking at it. I was like, who you got for a fucking Super Bowl this weekend?
But I have mixed reviews on that. You know what? You give me yours, and I'll think about it for a second. Because again, I'm all fucked up because of the college stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
it threw off all my preconceived notions,
Mm-hmm.
and some of it's biased because I get tired of dynasties. I get tired of that shit.
So it's hard to bet against the Chiefs because again, not a conspiracy thing, whatever, but they seem to be favored sometimes with the officiating, right?
Yeah,
But at the same time, like you said, I don't think it's. I guess the storyline would be there's never been a three-peat if they win at the three-peat. I actually don't think that they'll let that happen. I don't foresee that happening. I just don't. It's like Brady's your goat. I think it's the story of the NFL is better longer if Mahomes doesn't win three in a row and is always chasing Brady for the next however many years to get him to outdo him on the number of championships as opposed to the three-peat that Brady doesn't have.
okay.
Am I rooting for? I'd probably be rooting for the Eagles because I don't like the way that the Giants did Saquon Barkley. So I would like to see Saquon win to get one. I actually to take it back a few to the end of the year. I actually don't like that they sat him out and he didn't get the opportunity to go for the all-time rushing record.
Now somebody told me that that was his choice.
No, I think he said he was fine with it that they were going to sit him out. I don't think. I think if you asked him, you said, "Hey,
I
you
see,
want
I
you
see
want,"
what you're
you know what I'm
saying.
saying?
Okay,
He didn't buck the team for them saying like, "Hey, we're
okay,
gonna we're gonna sit you because we want you to be healthy for the playoffs." Okay, I'm like, I'm sure if they had played him, he'd have done everything. If they'd have played him, he wouldn't have said, "No, I want to sit out and be ready for the playoffs."
okay. That's fair.
You know
That's
what I mean?
fair. Yep.
But I am rooting for. I didn't like the way they did him in New York, franchise tagging him, not to pay him, and then they basically were like, "Yeah, we don't want to pay you again, so we're just gonna let you walk." Like as like a personal like, "Oh, really? That's what you think about me?" Okay, cool. You let me walk. I go out and win a Super Bowl the next year, as the star of the team. I'm rooting. I think I'd be. I'm rooting for that story more than I want to see Mahomes win three in a row.
All right. So two things. I guess my problem is I get burnt out seeing the same teams win all the time. Now, when the
Yep.
Chiefs won the first one, I was like, yo, let's go because it had been the Patriots forever.
Hmm.
I mean, I was around in the 90s when it was the Cowboys forever. Like,
Hmm.
I remember those things. And I remember being excited, but again, maybe as I progress in life, as you say,
Hmm.
like for me, a bigger story and something I could get passionate about would be seeing like the fucking Browns. And dude, I was getting hyped for the Lions, dude. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
they're finally coming. I mean, if I was Barry Sanders, I'd be like,
Sanders.
yo, y'all motherfuckers been motherfuckers. But like, I get more hyped for those games. And again, people have their passions for their team, and I get it. I spent fucking 15 years trying to play for any of them. Did not make it, obviously. So it was hard for me to like root behind one team. I love. With that being said, I love going to football games. I love that shit. But for the sport of football, I get more excited. What you're talking about. I want to see Barkley fucking crush and be like, yeah, fuck y'all. That's what y'all get. I like that. I'm burnt out on the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. I could give two fucks, and it's exhausting. And listen, I think the dude is a great fucking tight end. I think, but this little side thing that they've done and it's ruined it for me. I like seeing Mahomes talk. Like again, this is the thing. It's like he's a likable guy. Like he's an athlete. So it's not like I'm rooting against him, but it's just like, you know, for the overall sport of football, it's like this shit. Like we got to get away from these dynasty type. Whatever. And I'm not on the sports thing where I couldn't talk about sports for 24 hours a day. I couldn't do that shit. And, you know, you see these people on there, well, they're 8-0 and they have the 3 first down. Bro, what in the fuck is even, I don't even understand what's happening, bro.
Useless stat, bro. There's so many useless stats.
You could, like, dude, just think about this. When you watch the Super Bowl this time, remember the first time the Chiefs won. Mm-hmm. That feeling was like, yo, this is great. Like, it felt good. Like, whatever. It felt good. It felt new. It was like, oh, shit, some shit's changing. The captains of the team, I think they're well-spoken. They're not, you know, trying to belittle anybody or shit talk or they haven't gone fucking crazy. They're not assholes. Again, now, they could be behind the scenes. I don't know that. But the way they present, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like, again and again, it's okay. I get bored, bro.
The way I feel about it, the way I feel about Mahomes is the way I feel like people felt about Brady for a long time. Like, I'm tired.
Dude, I was watching the game when Brady came in for the first time. When what's his face went down? I'm already drawing a break. Bledsoe. Also a great quarterback.
Yeah.
No knock on him. I was watching that with my dad, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's like, oh, this game's fucking over. Bledsoe was the man. Brady ain't shit. And then Brady went on to, they won, I believe, that game. And then he became the guy. And so I had that, again, I was a player type dude. And I love watching it. I love watching it, like the hype behind him. But see, this is the thing. I felt the same way when Michael Vick came in. I was like, yo, because he was doing shit people weren't doing at that time. So I guess I'm more player focused or player interested. Like, I loved watching Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
People that hated him because he was boring, but like and honestly, watching the game probably wouldn't have done it for me. It was the interviews after it and listening to him talk about football, and I was like, yo, this dude's smart as fuck. Like, I played football for a long time. I didn't think about it that way. I wasn't thinking about it like, I'm just trying to smash motherfuckers, and you know. So it's like, what do you bring into the game overall, and then are you exciting to watch? That's a hard thing, bro. So will I be watching it? Of course. But it's like the enthusiasm, man, I think that's lacking for me. I think I'd have been much more vested if it would have been the Giants in that bitch or if it would have been the Lions in that bitch. I would have loved to watch that, regardless of who they're playing against, because I just wanted to root for them. I guess that's just where I'm at now. I just want to see something new.
Yeah, it's a good story. I like a good story. Like, it's like, you're like, oh, okay, the Chiefs again. Like, the story with the Chiefs is not a good story. It's like, oh, okay, so they're also allowed in the kind of, it's like, it's almost like it's not even them doing well. It's almost like it seems like they're being pushed, like they're being forced on you as a team, which is hard to. It's a hard thing to say about sports. As somebody, obviously, we both play sports, and you know like what goes into it, and how difficult it is to actually win a game, and how difficult it is to win a game and actually do that consistently, and at the right time. It's very difficult. So it's strange that it kind of seems like they get this stigma of like it takes away from the things that they've done as an organization over the last couple of years.
Agreed, and that's why it's hard for me to shit on a team too. Look, you're in the NFL, bro, and I kind of what you were talking about with basketball. You've seen greatness for so long that, like, dude, I know what it takes to get to that level and then maintain that level. But I don't shit on the guy sitting on the sideline, never played a game. I'm like, that dude worked his ass off to get, like, to me, it's incredibly impressive. So it's hard for me to shit on it. I won't. I guess let me rephrase that. I won't shit on the players, but I can shit on the owners and the coaches.
Oh,
I'll do that all
100%,
day.
100%, 100%, 100%,
I'll do that all day. Fuck that.
100%. Which, right, that's another thing too. I watch, some of these debate shows and sports shows, and it's hard for me to listen. And again, that's why I pick and choose who I guess you would say debate things with.
Yeah.
Um, it's hard for me to listen to people debate things that have never done it. Right?
Yes.
It's like you're critiquing something that you've never been able to do, right? And I get it. Like say, people who can't coach, right? It's like, yes. It's like, but even the people who can't at least tried, and we're on the path. You know what I mean? So you might actually be a better coach, because of your perceived or the guy who tried to make it to the league and didn't do well and failed so many times at doing it might actually be a actually really good coach because he had so many obstacles to face. Like, hey, I know all the things not to do. I know all the pitfalls of trying to do this. I can
Yeah.
actually help you avoid some of these, pitfalls and mistakes and whatever. But it's hard for me to listen to people debate and talk about sports that I've never one played or been at the level that they're talking about, right? Now, when you're talking about like journalism, completely different thing, right? But I'm like, if you're critiquing my play, like, oh, like man, that guy, he should have completed that pass.
Ma'am.
I
Yeah.
was like,
Sir, ma'am, stop it.
are you kidding me? He had a down year. He only had 75 catches in the NFL with
Yeah.
the
Going
top,
against the best.
the
Yeah.
best of the best of the best of the best. I don't. Again, I don't think. Like I said before, like people are such great athletes and are so good. When people are so good at doing something, to me, this is how I judge greatness, or where you level up on something, right? But people are doing something extraordinary, and they make it look easy to the point where just a layperson thinks that they could do it, or it, that it looks easy. I'm like, that's how you know somebody is a tier above, right? They're like, yeah, that guy's not fast. He only ran a 4.4, not a 4.2.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you are you are you fucking kidding me right now? I was like, sir,
Yeah.
first of all, how fast are you? First of all, second of all, like I don't think you understand how fast that actually is. That's
Yeah.
fast. That's fast as fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, and 4.4 speed is fast as fuck. 4.2, 4.3 speed is faster than fuck. And then 4.2 speed is like I don't think you can conceptualize how fast that is. I was like,
No.
and they're like, oh yeah, well he's not as fast as bro. To me, it's a weird argument to listen to people debate, especially back and forth. And like, you slide up on a thing and read comments on shit. They'll be like, Jalen Hurts is a bum. He can't throw. He's the quarterback in the NFL. What are you talking about?
Motherfucker can throw.
It's like he can throw. He
Yeah.
doesn't have a strong arm. He's in the NFL.
Yeah.
I was like, he's won at every level. It's like he won in high school. He's won in college. He's won in the pros. What do you mean he can't throw?
Yeah.
He can't throw it like that guy can throw it. I was like, okay. For 21 years, he has almost 50,000 points.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He's not that good. He's a bum.
Bro, people just want to hate, bro. People just want to hate.
I don't get. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm fucking weird, and I don't know. Which is both of those things could be true.
Both things can be true at the same time.
Both things can be true at the same time.
Well, brother, I got a hard out, but anything you want to wrap up on?
Nah, man. Oh, I mean, quick one. We're on the topic because I'm gonna make myself an adult beverage here in a minute.
Get it.
What is your top go-to adult beverage? Most consistent go-to. What is your number one go-to adult beverage?
So I'm gonna cause issues with this. Depends on how I feel. Bourbon and scotch, I have both, and I enjoy both thoroughly. But I have to have an ice cube in mine. I don't like it neat, and I don't think it does anything for it to be neat. But if I'm gonna make a cocktail,
Mm-hmm.
old fashioned, baby, that's my shit. But see, this is the thing. It depends time and place. What if I'm on the beach? What if I'm on the beach?
saying you can do it old fashioned on the beach, but
I mean, you can, but you know, every now and again I like to have that little, you know, that little beach paradise cocktail, baby. Give you a headache in the morning.
Jesus Christ, man.
Nah, but go to daily, or well, I wouldn't say daily, but if I could, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I enjoy a really good bourbon, giant ice cube, and that's where I roll. That's my happy place.
Not bad. I gotta say, bro, I do love my fucking bourbon. And I do love a whiskey. I'd love an old fashioned, bro. I love an old fashioned. I'll put it this way: I'd have to go one A, one B, and one C. It'd be
All right.
a old fashioned, right?
Yep.
Then it'd be my Crown Apple with a splash of lemon juice.
You do
Splash
love
of lemon
that
juice.
shit.
I do love that shit. It is top fucking tier to me. I know it didn't, they're like, oh, this is fucking Crown. I was like, I like it though. I think it's a very, very good, solid drink. And then I know I'll get some flack for this shit, but bro, I'm really into the fucking espresso martinis lately.
Bro, fair enough, bro. I can't get down with this espresso martini. I just can't. If I'm gonna drink something other than bourbon or scotch, I usually go gin, but I like a really good gin with, I mean, gin soda, ginger ale, whatever. But I can't drink gin straight up. I can't do that. That's too rugged. But I can't get down with the espresso martini, bro. It's still, I don't know. I hear you, but it
Yeah,
don't do it for me.
I don't know, man. I like it, bro. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm soft. I'm getting softer as I progress in life. But I think this is fucking. I think they're great, bro. I think they're amazing.
I love it, bro. Well, go enjoy your cocktail, baby.
Exactly.
All
All right,
right,
brother.
brother.
Later.
I catch you on the next one.
Later.